Daf Kof Chaf, and we're starting Kof Yutes Amid Beis, about halfway through, about 7 lines from the wide lines, before the wide lines. Gufa. Shnei Atzom Misalim, Shnei Chatzoy Zeisim. The Hechnis, right? We had this. It's a Bryce or it's a Mishnah? It's a Bryce or it's a Mishnah. You remember? Is it a Bryce or a Mishnah? It is a. It's a Mishnah. Yeah, it's a Mishnah. It's a Mishnah. It's a Mishnah in. No, it's a Tesefta. I'm sorry. It's a Tesefta. Yeah, weiter. So Voshteit. So we had, and we brought it down already twice. You have two bones, and on it each one has a half a zayis. And we had a shayla if it's a shmira or a yad. Vechnes Roshem Shnayim, both of them or Shnehem lebayis, right? Vabayis ma'el alem, and that's not locha. That the etzem of a mace is only mitam magam masa. It's not mitam boil. Only basa is mitam boil. So I need somehow to at least halachically stick the basar into the bias to make it oil lames, right? So either ayidei shemer or ayidei either ayidei shemer or ayidei yad. So the Gemara. Vabayis ma'el aleim abayis tamei yud ben kuzam em shum Yankiv heyich shnei atzamis mitzarfen likazayis. So the Gemara. Now that we spoke about atzamos, amar shlakish leishanu ela etzem. The have yand leishanu ela etzem. The have yand. Yeah. Leishanu ela etzem. The have yad. Avol nima lehaviyad, but here it can't be a yad. Why? Because here it's gonna snap. You can't use it to carry. You can't use it as a Rabbi Yechonama. No nima afilu nima afilu nima haviyad. Yeah, machlekes. Yeah. So Rashi reads it over here. One second, this is Rashi. Oh, so Rashi reads a very important nukuda here. There's a very important nukuda about yad. Until now, we have that yad has a kula. Shomer is much more chomer. Why? Because a shomer is mitzdarif, and a yad is not mitzdarif. It's only machnas umevi. It's only machnas umoitzi toma, but it's not mitzdarif. Mashen kein or shomer is sai machnas. It's right. It's mitamin, and it's mitzdarif. But l'idach gisa, l'maisa, there is a chumrah of yad over shomer. This is going to be negay over here in the sugya again. In the question of here, is it a shomer or is it a yad? And what's a negay? It's negay because a shomer is only keneged habasar, like we had, only where it's shomer. Mashenkin, if it's dangling on the opposite side, so then it's not going to be a shomer, right? It's only where it's shomer. Mashenkin a yad is a handle no matter what, right? That's the chomer. By kulis, by this etzem, we have a tzad. The Gemara has a tzad number aleph that it's a shomer, even though it's shloi keneged abasa. How do I know shloi keneged abasa? Because I have one end of the kulis inside the house, and the other end of the kulis is outside, and the basa is outside the house. So there Rashi says kulis is unique because the word is because it's the shmira of the kulis is the fact that it's airtight, and that the basar is contained inside the marrow is contained inside. But under normal circumstances, the shomer is only protecting one side. It's only protecting if just push it from being touched, and therefore the shmira is only keneged habasar and not shloi keneged habasar. Right? Klar, yeah. And it's a very practical thing. Yeah, it's not functioning as a shomer because it's not shomer. But we're going to see a shtikol nekuda. We'll see a shtikol nekuda in the Gemara in a second. Yeah, or sheish olav kazayis basar negea b'tziv hayoytza mimenu ubesayra shekinegdoi. Yeah, Rabbi Yechon to Rish Lakish. We have a brayso that says or sheish olav kazayis basar hanegea b'tziv hayoytza mimenu. Tziv is a little strand of meat that's yoytza mimenu. Ubesayra shekinegdoi. Kenegdoi needs kenegdoi because it's mashma shekinegdoi. I'm sorry. We're going to be matra that shekinegdoi that it's a shomer, but now that we're saying b'sayir shekinegdoi, we're matra at least in the Havamidas HaGemara that shekinegdoi is lav dafka. I don't know. Anyway, b'tziv hayoytz mimenu b'sayir shekinegdoi tamei my lav mishum yad, and shekinegdoi is lav dafka loy mishum shomer. The hair is only a shomer on the skin, and the skin is a shomer on the basa, so it's a shomer agabi shomer. So the Gemara, and for the Gemara, chilchulei mechalchel, which means that the Gemara is saying that here the hair follicle goes burrows through the skin, and it goes all the way through, and it touches the basa. Yeah, so here goes a shtickle along the shazache. Even though I need that shomer, even though I need that shomer is touching the basar itself, but once the shomer is touching the basar, then the whole hair becomes a shomer. Very interesting, yeah. By the nates, and the what they call them, the nates of the Rimonim, the nates and the pitma shall remain. So over there, the pshat is it's two different things. You have the pitam is mitzdarif, and the nature law is not mitzdarif because it's two different things. Mashenki, one long hair, it's all one hair. So if the bottom of the hair is a shomer, so then the whole rest of it becomes a shomer. Even though the chura we were saying on a practical oifin that shomer means that you are a shomer, that you're protecting. Lamaisa, you have to be connected to abasa to be shomer. But once one side of you is shomer, so then the whole thing is shomer. It's very interesting. Okay, so to Gemara right. And how do we write tefillin? If we're going to say that every hide has tiny little holes for the hair follicles, so then I would say every ksiva is not a ksiva time. If it's such a small hole that it doesn't affect the ink, so then it's not called a negev. And memela, it's not a kasha. And there are tiny pitsy holes, but the pitsy holes are only big enough to let in the hair, to make the hair should be able to make the hair into a shomer, but it doesn't affect the shem shomer. Yeah, so I just want to say, what's the shakavatayis Gemara over here? What the Gemara thought that it does touch, that the hair does touch, the hair just goes on the skin, and then the Gemara changed its mind. What happened here? What's the shakavatayis Gemara? What was the Havamidas Gemara? And it does go through? And let me ask you a question. Does it go through? And does it go through?
Do we treat the whole thing as one, or do we create it?
What do you mean? Oh, very geschmack. It's exactly the ones I wanted to say. What do you mean? It's
the thing that's there, and the other stuff doesn't count.
Oh, very geschmack. I want to say, Mamish, exactly this.
We're counting the whole thing.
And let me ask you a question. Does it go through? Does it go through?
Yeah.
It does go through? It does? Yeah? A skin is every skin has tiny little marker. Yeah? It's not watertight?
What do we see is this?
Yeah? I'm asking you a question. So I want to say the same svaro, just mamish pok fakir. Avada, that's pashit, that it doesn't go through, the actual hair doesn't go through. But there's a follicle that goes to the bottom, that gives it its life, whatever it is, right? And the question is the follicle a chelik of the hair or not? And the Gemara thought that the pshat is, yeah, but what's the maskler avacha? And what's the Gemara's kasha? I don't know what the Gemara's kasha says. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so the Gemara right. Let's move on. So the Gemara you say mishum yad. No, kula mishum yad. Yeah. First, we wanted to say that Cyrus what is Cyrus avada mishum is mishum shomer and memela, right? Now, first diche was to say that the pshat is that Mishnah of our Shieshov Kazayis Basar and Negeh B'Tzev Hayotzim Mimenu B'Sayir Shekineg Tamei My Lav Mishum Yad Loy Mishum Shomer. So what was the teretz Loy Mishum Shomer? Every Shomer is a Yad plus, right? So l'chura, so how could Rabbi Yochanan say that Nima Loy have a Yad? Every Shomer is a Yad plus. The teretz is that every Shomer is not a Yad plus because there's a Chomer and a Kula of Shomer because there's a Kula. There's a weakness of Shema that has to be connected to Abasa, which is what we read before. Tais read it over here. Rashi read it at the beginning of the sukkah. Yeah. That Avada, this Mishnah is Mishum Yad. Rabbi Yochanan said, Rish Lakish said that there's no Yad. Kedam Rabbi Lo b'Meloi shebein Hamalayim. Just like Rabbi Lo said in a different vart, that when you bunch up a whole bunch together, then it gets strong and it has the power to be a yad. If you have one hair is not strong enough and it can't be a yad. But if you have a whole bunch of hairs, then it could be a yad. So right, where's this Rabbi Law that we're quoting? What's miloi? Miloi is every wheat stalk has on the top of it, right, sticking out of the wheat, is these very, 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 very thin little things that are sticking up, and that's like really weak. It's much weaker than even here. It's a regular yad. It's mitamim mitzdarfim, like a regular yad. Mamsha has the regular properties of yad. Meloi lemay chazi. That what meloi, that's for sure. You touch it, it falls apart. So what does it mean? So lemay chazi. We're talking about a meloi shebein hamiloyim. You bunch a whole bunch of them together, and therefore, and in such a case, it becomes a yad. We're going back to the other side. That what? That Rish Lakish is not going to say Nima ben Animin. And Avad Nima ben Animin is not going to be a problem. So what's the pshat in the brayso? The pshat in the brayso that said that by Cyrus Shekinegda is a problem. It's Mishum Shema. Sagt die Gemara, Hachanami mistabed Mishum Shema. Dies Haggadah Mishum Yad. Nima achas l'may chazi. Yeah, what's that? Nima achas l'may chazi. So the Gemara in Shkin Kasha Kedam Rabbi Lo b'Meloi shebein hamiloyim hachanami b'nima shebein hanimim. Ve'echet mit Rabbi Lo ahod did not Meloi shebein hamiloyim mitam ve'em mitzdarfim. Right? The same Gemara over and over, and Rashi cheshbons through what exactly is that difference in the machlokes and the two lashonos. Rashi wants to say that the second lashon holds that be'etzem Rish Lakish holds that nima ben animin will also not be a yad, and that's the machlokes. And Memela, we don't want to say that teretz. No, the Gemara wanted to say, bring a raya, hochanami mistabra. In other words, that Avada, Rish Lakish was talking about by nimin. Then we brought up a brisa that said ubesaira shekenegdoi, meaning that we spoke about one sar. So now Zok Gemara hachanami mistabra because over there it's talking about nima achas, and of them Zok Gemara no, it means a nima ben animin. That the pshat is that when it says ubesaira shekenegdoi, it's also talking about nima ben hanimin. We could be matcha, right? Good. So there are those that learn it on unser Mishnah Lane. And if it's learning on our Mishnah Lane, so Akarchach, the Machlekes Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish is not about Yad, it's about Shomer. The first Lashon was that Machlekes Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish, if a Nima could be a Yad. But if it's a Shaila, if it belongs in our Mishnah, is Mocha that it's a Shaila about Shomer, because our Mishnah only discusses Shomer and not Yad. I must listen. Ahor v'aret v'akifa mistar from the time they told Mesochlin Amar Shlakish Leishon Wala Etza. Our Mishnah only Taka says talks about Atzam Musagidim. The Avi Shomer. Avanima loy Havi Shomer. So he didn't talk about Yad. He said Nima loy Havi Shomer. Rabbi Yochanan Afilu Nima Nami Havi Shomer. Amar Shlakish Rabbi Yochanan. Umiyah Shomer Gabi Shomer. The same question. Umiyah Shomer Gabi Shomer. For the Gemara Chulei Mechal. Yeah, that it burrows through the skin. Maskar v'acha el me'at tzon hechikas finu habinu ksiv v'tayim v'lakwa ishtumitz yadam v'arav kol nekum shat yayu oivalov ein nekem esor yibiyachon v'shlakish or sheish lav kezayis. At this Bryce, like this Bryce. Now that we're saying that it's not in the other version, to say that a nima is a shomer was a Rish Lakish shita, and he was the one that was matcha that the Brisa is talking about by a shomer. But now, like this lashon, that's fakir to machlekes' gufa about the shaila if it's a shomer or not. And Rabbi Yochanan is the one that holds it is a shomer. Rish Lakish is not the one that holds it. It's a shomer. So in this version, Rish Lakish is asking to Reb Yochanan. Right? In the first version, we had Esvei Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. And this version, Again, what's the cheshbon? This version, it's very gishmak. Okay, because Rabbi Yochanan is going to ask the question, he's going to name on his takal shema. Esvei Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. Oshe yishol kezayis basar hanegeh b'tziv hayotzim mimenu ubesayir shekenegdoi tamei my lav mishum shomer, like it's takamashma because it says b'sayir shekenegdoi loy mishum yad. Nima achas lemay chazik tamer v'loy b'mloy shomelay machanam b'nima shebenan nimin ve'echid naviloy adit nana v'loy shomelay mitamin ve'mitztaf v'loy lemay chazik amar v'loy b'mloy sheben ha v'loy. Sagt the heilige Gemara weiter. Yeah. Sagt the Gemara ve'haroitev. So we're going back to our Mishnah. We're talking about all the things that are mitzdarif for that are mitzdarif for Tumas Eichlin, but not mitzdarif for Tumas Nevelis. So one of the things was haroitev. My roitev, Amar Rav Shumna. It means the regular fats. Which fats? So Rashi says this is the fats that floats to the top of the pot. The fats. Amalei Abaya, who atzma yit b'tumas eichlin. That's pashta. That's eichlin. That's regular food. Ella chelev de karish. What is it? It's chelev de karish. What's chelev de karish? Rashi says it's the stuff that seeps out of the that seeps out of the meat and then afterwards hardens. And that some kind of a tzir. That kind of a tzir is what we're talking about. That's not oichlin. That's not food. That's not, no one eats it. It just it seeps out of the meat and then it hardens. My effective more my area karish kilay karish nami. Why does he say chelev de karish? It's the chelev that once it hardens. Why does it have to have hardened? Yeah, kilay karish nami. Why? What's our kashdam? Rabbi Rish Lakish tzir shagabi ayerek mistarf l'kaveisevish b'yom kippurim. Because Rabbi Yochanan says that the tzir, the juice, Rashi brings down two lashonis in this tzir. What we're talking about? Either we're talking about the juice that came out of the vegetable, or we're talking about a dip, some kind of a dip that somebody used a tzir like a fish juice as a dip. Tzir shagabi ayerek mistarf l'kaveisevish b'yom kippurim. Zaklimorem. Hasam mishum yisuvei daito, b'choldu misvedaite. Hacham mishum mitzdarufehu, ikarish mitzdarif, iloi karish lei mitzdarif. So Rashi explains like this. Rashi explains that the problem over here is that if it wasn't karish, it's a mashke. and a mashke and a oichel are not mitzdarif. Why are they not mitzdarif? Because they have loishav b'shirayu. This is the cloud that we have called terikula. They have to be mitzarif. You have to have that they have the same shear. So and since one is b'kazai, so one is b'revius. So memela it's loishav b'shirayu. They're not mitzdarif. So memela. The memela, if it was chelev loy karish, it won't be mitzdarif because it's not mitzdarif because they're loy shav b'shirayu. Mashenkein, when it comes to Yom Kippurim. Yom Kippurim, it's all about Inoi, and this is Meisodaite. So even though it should not be mitzdarif, if you would look at it as a oichel and a mashke, it should not be Meisodaite, but it's Meisodaite, so maybe it's fine. But Rashi read Zois another shmuz here. Rashi read Zois, even though ochel v'shasa is not mitzdarif, right? So achal v'shasa is not mitzdarif because then you need the achila and the shtia to be mitzdarif. And l'maisa them mitzdarif l'shav b'shirayu. I taper clay out yisuvi daita. Over there is a Rashi kimlu l'rabanan that it's only going to have yisuvi daita if you'll have a oichel together with juice together in the same achila. But if you're going to have an achila and then a drink, that you won't have a yisuvi daita if it's lo shavu shirayu, and so you don't have the shavu shirayu, you don't have the yisuvi daita. So memela by achol v'shasa you won't be chayiv, but by tzir shagabi yerek it will be mitzdaref. Good. Cool. Let's move on. Yeah. Zok the Mishnah Vakipa, my keeper, Amarabba, Pirma. What's Pirma? Pirma is the little pieces of meat that are on the bottom of the pot. What are you saying? You don't need siruf. That itself should be tumasaychlin. Hello, Marava, tavlin. It means tavlin. It means spices. So what's the problem? Why is it not tumasaychlin on its own? So Rashi says we're talking about obviously the kind of a tavlin that's not eaten on itself. It's not eaten by itself. It's something very, very sharp, and so it gives flavor to the food. But obviously on its own it's not eaten. So therefore it won't be eichel on its own. Only tziruf together with the food. It's not hasam. So we want to learn out the alfuses. Tran hasam hikve es hadam. Hikve es hadam. We're going to see. We explained. Gemara is l'chura going on roitiv, right? That's what we're going to do shmuz. I think it's going to be going on. We're not talking about tavlin. We're talking about roitiv. So we're talking about if we're talking about roitiv. So why does the Gemara bring it in here? Why didn't we talk about the Gemara before? The next Gemara is going to be talking about alal, right? So arva roitiv, hakipa v'alal. So why are we going through this Gemara in the middle by of roitiv legabe? I don't know. Okay. Unless Pasha, because it's the lashon of kippah and hikvah. What does hikvah mean? Hikvah means he hardened, right? So, in other words, very interesting. I didn't realize this. Kippah, where's the word kippah from? Kippah comes from the hardened things on the bottom of the pot. It happens to be that we thought that we're talking about the pirma. Now we said we're talking about the tavlin. But it's the hardened things. That's where the word comes from, and that's the shaykhis. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why the Gemara didn't bring the sugya by Reitiv. We'll see the Gemara. Okay, let's see the Gemara. Tanan Hasan. Hikvas Adam. Somebody hardened blood, so he did an achila on dam, which is normally a shtia, or he did the reverse shehimche as a chelev. He dissolved right? The chaylev made it into a drink. V'gamay chayiv. So the Gemara b'shlam hikva says adam v'achloi. So why you chayiv? L'chura it's a shtia. Yeah. So the Markiv the akve achshuve. Since he hardened it, so he made his machshavit, and memela. Therefore, even though before that, in other words, even though it was nishtana, it's like nishtana l'mayusa kilu. Ela himches achelev v'gamay achila ksivbei v'halav achiloi. So why should you? It says l'seichel kochelev, right, or something like that. It's lashon, and this is not an achila. So what happened? What happened to the? So what? How are you gonna be chayiv? So we have one pasuk. We have a pasuk by Chelev that says nefesh l'rabbis hashoysa. Tanya nami gabi chametz kai gavna him chayu v'gamai. If he, let's say, dissolved the chametz and made it and he swallowed it, right? So again, the same thing. Im chayu v'gamai im chametz hu einish kares im matzi. If it's chametz, you're gonna have a chiyuv einish kares. So it's a matzah, not yaitz the mitzvah. So the Gemara bishlam matzah ain't other mitzvah by the chavasa be pesach because lechamoini am rachmana v'halav lechamoini. This is not lechamoini, so maybe you're not gonna be mekayim mitzvah of matzah. Yeah, ella im chametz. Einish kares. So what do you do? What do we do with people that Ella em chametz hu einish kares achiluk siv bei amar shlakish amakra nefesh l'rabbis hashoysa. So we have one nefesh l'rabbis hashoysa by where? By Chelev. And we have nefesh l'rabbis hashoysa l'gabe chametz. V'tanya nami gabi nivla seif tar. Kai gavna im chayu be'ar tamei b'chamatar. So b'chama, if he dissolved it, if he melted it, right? Be'ar with fire, it's tamei. B'chama, if he left it out in the sun, then it's tar. So Rashi says im chayu b'chama. That's not a shayla b'chlau because that is going to be. I think Rashi says it. No, Rashi doesn't say it. Taisa says it. Who said? Exactly, yeah. So what's the pshat? Why you chayiv? Why is he chayiv by nivla seif tar? Achiluk sivbei amar shlokish amakra nefesh l'rabbis hashoysa. Ihachi b'chamanami. The sun also it should also be a nefesh l'rabbis hashoysa. So Gemara Sruchi. So Gemara, I need three psukim. I need what? Nefesh l'rabbis hashoysa by sai by nevela and sai by nivla seif tar and sai by chametz and sai by chelev. So Gemara Sruchi dikas rachmana chelev chametz le'asimine. If had it just said the pasuk of chelev, I wouldn't know chametz. Why? Shekain lehois le'shasa kosher. Because chelev is more chamer. It was never kosher. Mashen chametz only became chametz on Pesach. And if it only said chelev, I wouldn't know nevela, meaning nivla seif tar le'asimine. Shekain einish kares. Because why? Because chelev is einish kares and nevela is not einish kares. Ikas rachmana chametz. Had it just said chametz, chelev le'asimine. Shekain le'hota mechlalai. Had it just said chametz, I wouldn't know chelev from it because lemaisa chelev is loy huta mechlalai. The Gemara is going to explain what it means. We know what the chelev is loy huta mechlalai. Really, we know what it means. Chelev is huta mechlalai because chelev is something that is mutter by a chayiv. But the Gemara is going to have a kasha on that. But chametz is much more chametz because it's absolutely there are no exceptions. Mashen kechelev there's exceptions. Shein kein huta b'chlalei unevela le'asamine and nevela can be learned after chametz. Shein einish kares because chametz again has kares and chametz has kares and nevela doesn't have chametz. Because Rachmana ben nevela had the Torah said nevela hanach le'asamine, we wouldn't be able to learn out nisht chametz and nisht chelev. Why? She came etama. Because nevela, nivla seif tar has a word chumrah that it's also me tama. So the lomdim are very busy with this Gemara. They're very busy with this Gemara because the shaila is if the two properties of nevela, that there's an isser and that it has a tumah, are they related or not? And they want to learn up from this Gemara. It's mashma that somehow they have a relationship. That we could use the fact that Nivla Seif Torah is metame it has a shaykhis to the Issa Achila of a Nivla Seif Tame. This is one of the big sources. I don't know. I mean, for Pircha, you could be Makra, but anyway. So the Gemara right. So tomorrow, so okay. So we had to say all three. We couldn't learn out one from the other. But l'chura, let's learn out. Maybe we should do a ma'atzad. Teisi chadami tarti. So the Gemara, hey Teisi, right? Hey Teisi, which one should we say? Which one should we bring? And we should be able to what? We won't have to say the other one. So hey Tasi, which one should we learn? In other words, just say two and not say one. Hey Tasi, let's not say nevela. V'Tasi mehanach, and we'll say only chametz and chelev. Malahanoch shekeno inish karis. Say chametz and say chelev have esach karis. And memela, maybe they're much more chametz. That's why they're also in a liquid form. Let's not say chametz. And we'll learn it out from the Vasef Torah and Chayla. It takes Banach Malahalach Shkein Loy Hoislahem Shasa Kosha. Mashen Kain Chametz. Chametz is something that had a Shasa Kosha, so maybe it's less Chamer. Loy Lech Rachmana Bechayla. It takes Banach Mahalach Shkein Loy Hota Mechlal, and there are no exceptions. Taimba Bechayla Shehota Mechlal. And now the Gemara is going to explain. Now that we went through that whole thing, for the Gemara, what is the exception by Chaylev? Umayniu. What is the hota michlale of chelev? Ilema chelev behema legavaya. That we know that even though chelev nevela is aser for Yisrael, but it's more than just hotar. That is the definition of a murim that goes to the mizbeach. Frankly, if that's the thing, nevela nami ishteroi melikas oif legavaya. Melikas oif is ishteroi legavaya. Interesting. The Gemara is assuming that melikas oif is a nevela even by melikas oif in the mizbeach, and the Gemara doesn't fall off in that. Chelev chaya lehedyet. The chelev chaya lehedyet is what chelev chaya lehedyet we know is hota mechlali. Frankly, Gemara nevela nami ishteroi. Malikas techatas oif l'kohanim. Yeah, let's just say that lemaisa you have right yeah. But before we said nevela nami ishteroi melikas oif legavoya, because by all oifes, sai by chatas and sai oila, we're doing melika. Mashenkin over here, now that we're asking from the achilas hakoyanim, so we only mentioned chatas, because again, there's only two oifes, there's only chatas and oila, and oila is not nechal, only chatas. Yeah. So tomorrow nevela nami ishteroi melikas chatas oif lekoyanim. So tomorrow loilam chelev chaya lehedyet. Avad, that's what udika kashla koyanim. That you're asking that koyanim have an achila of chatas ha'oif l'kohanim, and so maybe you say that it's ishteroi. So tomorrow mishulchan kavoya kazachu. That since it's mishulchan kavoya kazachu, so what? So Rashi says that teira mishum gavoyahu aval gabi hedyet le'ashkechan dehutar. So Shal is belachura, but it's still a percha. L'ma'isa it's hota bichlala. What? What's the word? What? It's mashma. It's mashma that the Gemara is saying, right? Yeah. The kishaila is that there's an exception. There's an exception here. What do you mean? There's an exception. It's hota b'chlali. It's loy hota legabi hedi. So what? What? What's the word? would seem like the Gemara is saying that we know for sure, again, every pircha is, the pshat is that we have a weakness in the chumrah, we have a weakness in the isser, and the weakness in the isser says that vibalt it's huta michlolis, and it's not so aser because it's huta michloli, there are exceptions. Mashayk and other yisum don't have exceptions. Over here the Gemara understood that Melikas Ha'oif works by that the Kohanim eat Chatas Ha'oif is not the pshat is because Nevela is Hutar Michloloi. It's not Hutar Michloloi. There's no weakness. There is it's an extra power of Gavoya that the Gavoya gives you new powers. Not that the pshat is a weakness and it's unavailable. I don't know how the Gemara knew that. Okay, so the Gemara weiter, yeah. What the Tanya fragt the Gemara? What the Tanya atmeim lesser tzirim v'roit from the keeper shalahem. La mali. Why do I need a pasuk for this? Why do I need a pasuk legabe nivlas sheretz? Right, sheretz. That what? That there's lesser tzirim v'roit from the keeper shalahem. Ligma mehani. Let's learn out from these now. Be'etzem, Tosfos says like this. Tosfos learns that Tosfos learns that it's a Issa Daraisa from this Gemara is a Raya that Tzir V'Roit the Kippur Shalem is also Midaraisa from by Sharetz, but not by a regular nevela, but by Shratzim it's a deraisa. I think that's what Tosfos Cheshbon is, right? And that the Gemara says Atmei unless it's here for Roitiv and Kippur Shalahem, that's all an asmachta. It's an asmachta the rest, but the Roitiv is what we're asking from. Yeah, that's how Tosfos learns to do Shaila. Okay. Let's not move back. So tomorrow right out, tomorrow unless it's here for Roitiv and Kippur Shalahem. Lamali ligma mehani. Let's learn out from these. So tomorrow Tzrichi. Why do I need the extra hay of Atmei unless it's here for and Kippur Shalem? Typically, that we can learn it out from these three, either from Chametz and Chelev and Nivlasef Tar. So tomorrow, Ligmar Hani Tzrichi. Di kas Rachmana di loy kas Rachmana have a minute I love Minadin Lias Kinad Mahas Madik Gezais Afachanami Adik Gezais, and the halach is by a sheretz is mitam b'kadash, it's also b'kadasha, and over here since it's not also b'kadash, and these things are not also b'kadasha, so I would think that you're not chayiv anything more than their share. So let's go fakert. Let's learn out from Shratzim. Yeah, that Lamais is Soif Kol Soif, the Tumah of Shrotzim is Tumasam B'Mashu, and Memela, since it's Tumasam B'Mashu, so therefore it's more Chama, so you can't learn out two of the other ones. Now over here, the Lashon HaGemara of Shekein Tumasam B'Mashu is a little bit shver, because Rashi, if you look at Rashi, Shekein Tumasam B'Mashu, Rashi says Shekein Tumasam V'Isuram B'Mashu, right? Why? Because the pshat is because you don't have to go say a pircha about the tuma when we talk about the achila itself. Achila is b'mashu, and since achila is b'mashu, so that's a gavaldiga, and we're trying to learn how it is achila. So we have a pircha on the achila b'mashu. So why the Gemara says she came to us b'mashu if our pircha is from the isurim b'mashu? So maybe the reason is because. I mean, the drasha Rashi explains that achila is b'mashu. Rashi learns out that we learn it out from the tumason. So since the drasha is from tumason, so that's why we said tumason. Well, it's not going to be pshat. Why the Gemara says she came tumason b'mashu if it means achilason b'mashu? It's a little bit shver. How Rashi is taka. Rashi varning the question, but I don't understand what he's taka saying. Okay, so the Gemara the Tanya Tevel v'achodosh v'hektish v'ashvius v'aklayim kulam mashkin ayoy. Mem Kimaisam I mean let's learn out from them. All those things meaning a nevela, nevela and chametz and nevela and chametz and sheretz and what was the other one? Nevela chametz and chelev. Right? Yeah, they're all Issa Abba Me'elov, meaning that the Eibishter made them also, they become also automatically. You don't have to be Makdashit. That's good from the Tevel and the Chodosh and the Shvius and the Klayim that it's Ba Me'elov. It's fine. The Lav Issa Ba Me'elov Minalon, the one that's not Issa Ba Me'elov, which Rashi learns means Hektish. So Hektish is only also once I was Makdashit. It's not Issa Ba Me'elov. So how do I know to learn it out from all the things that are Issa Ba Me'elov? Gamina Mibikurim. Now, Tosfos, however, Tosfos over here is Ma'arich over here to say that we're not asking from Hektish. He argues with Tosfos, and he says that Tosfos learns that we're learning from Klayim. So it comes out a murdiga what's called it a murdiga lom nishmachloikas between Rashi and Tosfos what Klayim is. What Klayim is Klayim called a Issa Ba Me'elov, or it's not a Issa Ba Me'elov? Yeah, Tosfos says, "Mashavir shkul kari Issa Ba Me'elov lebar mehektish ef shalem ken ela Klayim kama kedepi Rashi she'ein ze Issa Ba Me'elov sha'yidei ma'isa shel zriya nesarim aklayim v'gam aveira hi b'shas zriya." So Tosfos learns that the pshat is that the Issa Klayim is not that the fact is that it grew together. That's where the Issa on Achilles Klayim is fakir. It's all an outgrowth of the Isser of being Zarei Klayim. And Rashi seems to learn that the Isser of Klayim, Pentukta Shamalaya, is an Isser on Isser Haba Me'elov. Yeah, Gevaldik Machloikis in the Lumdis of Isser Klayim. Yeah? Yeah. Gevaldik. Sagt Gemara weiter. Gamina Bebikurim. Upikurim Gufayim, you know. How do we know that Bikurim, what there's a din that Mashka Ba Me'elov is considered the pre? Bikurim Gufayim, you know. The Tani Rabbi Yossi pre Ata Mevi Mashka. Haba Viata Mevi Mashka. You have to bring when somebody does this week's Parsha Kisavai, when you bring in the Beis Hamikdash, when he brings his peri, he must bring a ganza pri. He has to show the what's called it. He has to bring it as a pri. Hevi anovim v'darchon. If he brought grapes and then after he brought it, he squished it. Minayin. How do you know you're allowed to? Talmud Leima Tavi. So the way Kipshuta, what we're talking about here is that the pshat is that the Hevi means he brought it into the Azara. So what exactly is the taich over here? It's a gavaldik machlokes rishonim over here in the pashta pshat. Mamish to get it today's parsha. Priata mevi viata mevi mashka. Okay, you're not allowed to bring mashka. Hevi anovim v'dorchon. If he brought anovim and then he squished them, minayin tamalei tavi. The tavi says that once I brought it, I am allowed to squeeze them. That's how Rashi learns. So what does it mean I brought it? What does it mean I brought it? So Rashi says I brought it into the Azara. Once I brought it into the Azara, so Bekitza for the big fancy reveal and the whole process of bringing the Bikurim that I need, it should be dafka pri, and it shouldn't be an oven shadarchan. And memela, right? That's where you have to have the that's where it has to be a pri, and then after that you could be darchan. So what's in the gate that you could be darchan? It seems like it's a chiddush that I wouldn't be able to eat it otherwise, something like that.
Very interesting. Yeah, three things that what was created, B'Shvil Chal Yisrael, B'Shvil Torah.
Bottom line is, so what do we Loit Rashi that we're talking about that I was already heavy into the Azara. So if it's already heavy to Azara, so what's a negeya that it's still that it's mutter to be boitzer? What's a negeya? It's negeya only that it still has kedushas bikurim, that a zar can eat it. But that's all it's negeya, because right, what else is a negeya that that you're allowed to be boitzer it? I state priata maybe viata maybe mashka heavy anovim v'dorcha minayin that what tamloim b'tavi. I don't know. It's Turkey. Okay. Anyway, begins in Nimrods, but Loy Tais is much more geshmak. That the pshat is that once he was mafresh out of him, then he's allowed to bring it into Beis Hamikdash. It's much more geshmak that what that he's that it's nichlal in the tavi. But Akapanim. Now, there's a big kasha in the sugi over here. The big kasha in the sugi is Tosfos' kasha. And Tosfos asks that l'chura we know that mashka that shti is b'chlal achila, and l'chura and it's b'chlal achila by another v'zeisim. So what do I need a pasuk by bikurim to tell you this halacha? That's the shayla. The Gemara seems to say that the Gemara in other places seems to say that the shayla is if it's Zeh Ba'alma or it's not Zeh Ba'alma. So which came first? This Gemara, that Gemara, that's the shayla. Okay, so Gemara Vaita, let's move on. Mal Bikurim Zot Gemara Vaita. Elagama Michuma. Ikal Mefach Mal Bikurim Shekein Tun and Kriya V'Hanocha. Yet the Bikurim needs Kriya V'Hanocha, because part of the whole process of bikurim is to bring it and to say it, to express it, and we don't just express it little. We go back all the way from the maschil b'gnos. This is the nusach of the Torah of maschil b'gnos. I heard somebody being very stark at the beginning of the parsha and the end of the parsha are so connected, because the end of the parsha is tachas asher lo yavadta b'simcha v'tov leivov. How do you do b'simcha v'tuv levav if somebody appreciates? How do you appreciate? When you start with the maschil b'gnos of Yisayim b'shvach, you start off, we were nothing. We were mamish nothing, shebe nothing. Arami oivei Vayer b'tzayim, the whole thing, and now look at this. Look what I have here. Everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All that comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it could be that's why you want it to be a pri, and not the urcha. Like Rashi. Like Rashi, you want to bring it to Azara as a pri, because you want to. We're only pointing out that Tova that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for us, and we're not showing at all any of what the farmer did. We're not discussing the farmer's work. We're talking about what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did. So that's why it has to come as a peri. You have to do hanacha, and you have to do a kriya, and that's the whole action. The whole action of bikurim is all to showing gratitude, and once we express the gratitude, as the mitrach gut vet gut, and the pshat is, and once we show and act out of gratitude, that's how you have that's how you taka over HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitech simcha. Gewaldige nekuda, that the pshat is that a person could be mund on the fact that he wasn't b'simcha. Why? Because he didn't do these actions. If you do these actions, yeah. Right, and it's a time on you. How come you didn't? The teretz is you have to bring it. You have to. It's a simcha is not some. It's not a season. It's not something that it's not something that washes over you. It's something you have to bring. And listen, sometimes it washes over you, but something you have to bring onto yourself and to focus on the good and to Kivalis. So the shayla is fakert. The only shayla is why bikurim was only given to the farmer. Why isn't bikurim given to every single one? Is it shayla is that the Torah assumed that every single one of us is gonna what's the word? What? Unless the pshat is, everybody already did their bikurim, they did already their simcha already by Pesach. The farmer was busy farming and he was busy, and he didn't have the focus until Shavuos, because until he got his first payers, he wasn't able to get to his ultimate simcha. So so that's why he's good. But everybody else did it already, like we do it. Talk about it, say that. We say Aram Yav already, but no, you don't like that. You know. What? So what's the word? What's the pshat? Why is bikurim, that was such an important thing, given only to the farmer? Okay. So or maybe the pshat is, maybe that's the pshat. Maybe that the Mishnayos that say that when the people that would come, the Mevi Bikurim would come and everybody would stand up for them, it's not just to be mechaber them. It was that we should also, this is our we were all partaking in this Moed Gezach Bikurim. I don't know. Okay, so let's move on. So you can't learn out. So again, what's our shayla? How do we know hektish like Rashi, and how do we know klayim like Tosfos? Yeah, and machlokes Rashi and Tosfos, if klayim is called ba me'elav or not. Elagam michuma. Learn out from Chuma. In fact, tomorrow Chuma go from Minol. How do we know Chuma? So tomorrow the Iskish lo bikurim. Since Chuma is Iskish lo bikurim, and you can learn out from Chuma. Since the pasuk says the Chuma Yotcha over there, it's before there's a whole bunch of things in the pasuk, and Akorchach it's not going on regular Chuma, and we dash it's going on bikurim. So Chuma Yotcha lo bikurim. So Memela, the pasuk says. Lo yisucha alecha b'sharecha ma'isa degoncha v'siroshcha v'tzarecha b'karis b'karcha v'tzarecha v'chol nedarecha ashatida v'secha u'chumas yadecha. So memela, right? So memela is, and we say chumas yadecha b'kurim. Why is chumas yadecha b'kurim? Because that's the thing. You karechal of siv. That's the one thing that you do with your hand. So chumas yotchel bikurim. So memela. So that's why bikurim is hookish to chuma and memela. And once chuma is hookish to chuma, so hekish ein lehashiv. And memela chuma has avada also halacha that it's mashka haba me'ela, that mashka yotze me'ela of his kiyotze boy. And memela what? So memela, just like we have that by chuma, so we learn out bikurim from there. We learn out hektish from there. Frankly, more amal chuma shkei chayavno of misa v'chaymish. Yeah, the chayav misa b'mezid and chaymish b'shoigig. Elegam mitavayu. You learn out a matzad either from michuma or bikurim. Gam mitavayu michuma or bikurim. Mal chuma or bikurim shkei chayavno of misa v'chaymish. Sai chuma and sai bikurim have the halach of misa v'chaymish. So mainly you can't learn out from there. So to Gemara. Ela asya michuma v'chad mehanoch. Asi b'tshuva v'chad mehanach, I mean b'kurim v'chad mehanach. So, frankly, more about it now. And dvash tomorim v'yayin tapuchim. Dvash tomorim is the what's called it? Yeah, date honey. Or yayin tapuchim, which is wine of apples. apple cider or something. The chaymitz sisvanius. Chaymitz sisvanius is the bitter grapes that grew up in the sisvanius sisu is the lashon of the winter. So grapes that grew in the winter grapes that they never get sweet. So memela, and we make from it chaymitz. V'shar mine peris shel truma. So what's the halacha? Reb Lezer machayev keren v'chayim. Reb Yeshua poiter. So this is a kind of a mashke, and the shaila is: do we have? So the shaila is if it's chayiv, if you mechuyev keren v'chayim or not. B'may kamifligi, b'doy mino, b'doy mino, v'uke ba'asa kamifligi. So Rashi says agavocha that we're not talking about. Yeah. Okay. Ma bikurim mashkin ayetzu mehem kimoisam. Af truma nami mashkin ayetzu mehem kimoisam. Oh, mina. Ma bikurim afilu sharminim, because bikurim is on all shivas aminim. Af truma nami afilu sharminim. Even the sharminim. Rabbi Yeshua savadai mina doimina. Ma bikurim mashkin ayetzu mehem kimoisam. Af truma mashkin ayetzu mehem kimoisam. V'ukiba asra ma mashkin. The kachim b'chuma. What are the mashkin that a kodesh b'chuma is only tishvi? It's in midachvini loy. But ava mashkin yoytzu mehem kimois. Ava af mashkin yoytzu mehem kimois. So it's tishvi. It's in midachvini loy. So in other words, that we're going to learn out. It's ukibasra of chuma. Because the pshat is because why? Because chuma and because chuma only has tishvi. It's a midaraisa. V'adnan emevim b'kurim mashkin el. V'adnan emevim b'kurim. Mashkin Eloi Hayotzim and Azeisim and Anavim Mani Rabbi Yeshui Damadai Minavu Kibasra V'Gamalu Bikurim Chuma. So therefore, since he learns out Bikurim from Chuma and he holds Daiminavu Kibasra, and therefore now once he learned out Chuma from once we said Daimino Vukebasra, and now we have to learn out that Chuma has halacha that it's only it's thing of Tirshvi Yitzer and nothing else. Now we're going to teach back to Bikurim, and once we're teaching back to Bikurim, then it's only by Tirshvi Yitzer. Father nan ein tzaytvinas habayim mishum orla el al yoytzim and azeisim and anovim mani Rabbi Shui. Dama again the same thing. Dama doimino vukebasra. So that we learn out. Chuma learned out from where it learned out. It was doimino, but it's ukib asra that it now has a loch of daf gedogam tirosh and not anything else. V'hadar maisi lola orla prim bikurim. So we learn out first. Chuma learns out the halacha that mashka yotzim, but it's ukib asra. Chuma is halacha that it's only by teogam tirosh and not by anything else. And then it moves on back to Bikurim, and then Bikurim passes it on to Arla. But it's important to read out that Rashi explains that this is only all in Josh's Rabbanon, because the whole thing is only Rabbanon. Chuma Rabbanon is only by Dagon Tirish Yitzhar and not by anything else. Everything else over here, that we say Doimino Vukubasra is only as a halacha like a Kain Deraisa Tikain.